Hey everyone, we are live at a game developers conference event called The Mix. It stands for the Media Indie Exchange. And I'm going to step out here in front of the camera for a moment to give you a look at the lay of the land. This is a much bigger event than last year. It's an event where independent game developers meet with people like me, the sticker that says press on it. There are three kinds of stickers here. They'll say industry, dev, or press. And this is where people who are often showing off their games for the very first time in public get to come face to face with people like me and explain what their games are all about. And as you can see, this is one of just 3 rooms here at this event. And we are here for the very final half hour of The Mix, an event that's been going on since 7 o'clock. Now, I am the least interesting thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the camera off the tripod and we're going to take a walk around and talk to some of the developers here who are showing off their games. And here's one that has drawn a crowd, and it's been drawing a crowd all night. It is a game called Viewfinder, as you can see right there. And it is a game that is built around a mechanic where you find 2-dimensional photographs and place them in a spot in the game and then step into them. And they add to the virtual world. As we can see, somebody's doing right here. You'll put the photo there, then they just walk right into it. Now sometimes you have to rotate the photo to get it in the orientation that you need it in order to get what it is that you want to pick up out of that photo and bring it back into the full color world, as you can see there. Now I'm not sure if any of the developers of this game are here, but we can see if we can talk to them. Are you guys involved with this game or another game?
I'm involved in every game on this table.
Every game on this table, fantastic.
Yeah, not as a developer, as the PR person, but I can answer any questions that you have.
Well, fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about this game, how the idea for this game came to be?
So, there's a guy called Matt Stark. He was a student, and he was kind of experimenting in Unity to see kind of what was possible. And he ended up creating this concept where you could take a picture and then render it out and make it kind of 3D. So he kind of started experimenting with that. And then he dropped out of school, and then basically they built a studio, and now Thunderful are publishing the game, and we're turning it into like a full project. And the team, Sandow Studios, is the name of the developer. They're a fully remote team, so we have people in Scotland, people in Asia, like the Philippines, other parts of the world, in America as well. And they're all working together to kind of create this final product.
But the concept of a fully remote team, is that did the game industry do that first? Is that a pandemic era thing?
I would say the games industry's done it before the pandemic. Obviously there's been more of that with the pandemic, but you know, there's examples previously of other studios that have done it as well. So I think because, you know, games is a kind of technology first kind of industry, so I think that, you know, the advent of the internet and being able to do, you know, video conferences and stuff has been able to make that possible. So obviously with the pandemic it made it even more kind of familiar, but it was done before as well.
What's it like to be here in person showing this game off to people?
You know, this is the first time it's been playable. We announced it at the Game Awards last year, so to finally get people to really experience what it is and, you know, how magical it is to be able to kind of take a 2D image and just make it real and see people's like delight at it, it's really, really special for us.
Cool, thank you so much, I appreciate it. We'll take one more look at it here. The game is called Viewfinder. It's a relatively new game that has been taken to the Game Awards, and as you see, the main mechanic of the game is you find these photographs, you place them in the world, and then you step into that photograph to get what it is you need out of it. Just like that, like magic, that photograph becomes a bridge into another world. The game is called Viewfinder, and it's here at The Mix, which stands for the Media Indie Exchange, an off-site evening after-hours event that's taking place here at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, everybody plays.
I want to talk to these guys real quick. Can I talk to you guys about your slime game?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome, we're live streaming. I just wanted to give folks a quick look at what your game is. This is a role-playing game, kind of like many people might have grown up with, right?
Yeah. It's an action role-playing game. You play as a little slime. The slime has a friend, the Guardian, and the Guardian itself gets taken by corruption within the world. So you, as the slime, have to show up and defeat the corruption to get your friend back.
You are a slime.
Yes.
Like a glop of goo.
Just a little small slime. It's
A little small slime.
The idea of the game is showing off that even like a small hero can make a very big difference.
A small. I was looking at your hands, but I wound up looking at your T-shirt. So
Yeah.
that's about the size of the slime there.
Yeah, a little small slime. Can
Little
be a
small
very,
slime. Let's
very
take a look at the slime here. There's the little slime. A little slime can make a big difference. And of course, the name of the game is Slime Heroes. How'd you come up with the idea for a slime of all things?
Personally, it wasn't, the idea of the slime really came from the idea of like, I wanted to give the idea of like anybody can make a difference, you know? So anyone can make that difference in the sense that no matter how small you are, no matter how much you feel like you can't do it, you can make that difference and you can be that hero. Even to someone like a grand dragon who's been protecting you for a long time, you can be now the new protector.
Fantastic. Anybody can make a difference,
Yes.
even a slime.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is Slime Heroes here at the Mix event at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. We're going to go over here right now where there is an old school shooter game reimagined in a modern cartoon art style called Sulfur. And somewhere around here is one of the developers. I think is the gentleman in the pink sweatshirt. Can I talk to you? We're live streaming, and I just wanted to get you to give us a quick description of what this game is behind you.
Yeah, so this is Sulfur. It's a first-person shooter, roguelite kind of game. It's a mix, like if you would mix Counter-Strike with Diablo, and like extraction shooters like Tarkov and inventory systems and weapon modifiers and enchantments and cool stuff.
And so what is it that made you want to make a first-person shooter?
Because we love first-person shooters, but we also think that they can be kind of stale, and we love cartoons and violence and deep systems and randomness and playfulness and humor. So it's kind of dark, grim, but also kind of playful and funny.
So cartoons and violence.
Yeah.
Including cartoon violence. Did we just see some cartoon blood up there on the screen?
For sure, yeah. We used to joke that we would collect all the content ratings. I don't know if we were going to succeed doing that, but we're definitely going to try. Just as a gag, because I've been working for 10 years as a lobbyist and informing people about, ratings of games and Peggy in Europe with, all the different ratings.
So these are the kind of games that I would have been playing in what, the 90s, the early 2000s, but reimagined with this cartoon look and feel.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of, I guess some people would call it a boomer shooter. So it has that type of feel with billboard type enemies. And they die cool, and that's really important to us.
They die cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's kind of our core design pillar, is that enemies should die cool. And the guns should be tactile and kind of juicy. That's where we started, and then we go deeper with systems and enchantments and upgrades and cool, playful weapons. We have Nintendo Glogs in the game.
Fantastic. Playful weapons. Sulfur is the name of the game. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here at the Mix event at the Game Developers Conference 2023 here in San Francisco. It is an off-site event where indie game developers are showing reporters and industry professionals their games. And as you can see, it is a 3-room event. Maybe you can hear the bass booming from upstairs. We'll save upstairs for last because it's so loud up there. There's also a little bit of music in here, not quite as loud as it is upstairs. We'll just take a little spin through here. There's a game I wanted to show you guys called Lifeless Moon with some very cool space graphics. I don't know if any of the development team for this game is around. Maybe we'll have to come back and catch them a little bit later. This is getting toward the end of the event. I've been tirelessly walking around this event doing interviews and meeting game developers and hearing their stories. And a lot of them have great stories about how they came up with their games, why they decided they wanted to work on games like these, and even how they got into game development. For many of these people, it is their first time at the Game Developers Conference. For many of these games, it is the first time the games have seen the light of day outside the game studio, or in some cases the home of the indie developer, because a lot of these games were developed during pandemic lockdown. We're going up the stairs, as you can see, and we're going to go into that very, very loud upstairs area where there's a whole other story full of games. Here at the Mix, there's the poster. It stands for the Media Indie Exchange. It's where members of the media like me meet independent game developers, like all the ones exhibiting their games up here. So here's one game. It's called Kung Fury. It is an old school martial arts type game where the graphics mimic the old tube TV graphics of the 1980s all the way down to the imperfections and the reflections on the outside of the arcade cabinet. And yes, even though they are playing this in an arcade cabinet, you can play this game on your phone and you will still get those fabulous analog looking 8-bit graphics. Look at that. That reflection there, completely digital. That is totally simulated. These are the games sort of the likes of Double Dragon and Street Fighter 2. If you're a child of the 80s, you remember games like that. Kung Fury is what it's called. And boy, they have a great display for it here too. And a lot of merch.
Hey.
Can you tell us a little bit about the game real quick for the live stream audience?
Yes, of course. It's the new one. It's a new brawler. You can move around. It's a retro game based on the movie Kung Fury. And now you can play as no more or less than David Hasselhoff, actually. It's one of the playable characters. And you can have a play a team and you can kill Nazis together based on the Kung Fury concept.
And so you basically made this so that if I grew up playing Street Fighter 2, I want to play this game.
Yeah, Streets of Rage was a big inspiration when we developed it first time. And as you can see, the screen is like.
Yeah, what made you want to
feel like an old arcade machine?
Simulate the old arcade machine screen.
That was the whole idea. Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
Because the movie is from the 80s, so we based the whole concept on that retro feeling. That's why the pixel is there. But still, we wanted something that works on mobile devices and new devices, but with the old feel. And that became Street Rage. And now the new thing is the Ultimate Edition.
The Ultimate Edition.
Just released on all platforms. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
So it's Kung Fury Street Rage, the Ultimate Edition. It is an Xbox controller that looks like it's on an analog arcade machine. Oh, he came out of the manhole. Oh, look at that.
Hasselhoff is very good at fighting.
What's that?
Hasselhoff is very good at fighting, as you can see.
Now, despite the fact that this looks like a game from the 80s, you probably developed this on modern software.
Yeah, we did. Of course we did. It's based on the Unity technology. That's our game engine. We built it on.
And who is it you think that you think loves games like this?
Sorry, one more time.
Who do you think loves games like this? Is it people who played them the first time or people who didn't get to play them the first time?
The thing is that we've noticed that even young people that never played the retro games on the original console love this. And that's it's interesting because initially I thought it was just the people that has played it before, you know. So that is a cool effect. It's more popular among younger people, even playing on mobile device, and think it's so retro and so cool. That's interesting.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
the game
you.
is Kung Fury. What is the subtitle? Kung Fury Street Rage?
Kung Fury Street Rage Ultimate Edition.
Street Rage Ultimate Edition. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Now here is an interesting one that probably isn't so controversial here in San Francisco, but might be controversial in Florida. It's called Drag Her.
Hi!
Tell me all about Drag Her for the live stream audience.
Drag Her is a 2D fighting game featuring real-life drag queens.
So we just saw a two-person fighting game. Now we have another two-person fighting game, but with a twist.
Yes. The twist is drag. But also, coming out soon is a 2 vs 2 mode. Take that.
And so these are not made-up drag performers. These are well-known drag performers.
These are famous drag queens and kings from RuPaul's Drag Race and the Boulet Brothers Dragula. Yeah.
And so you actually got them to do the voices, to pick the outfits?
They sign off on their likeness, they get to voice their characters. Yeah, it's all them.
What made you want to make a fighting game about drag?
I felt like the drag queen universe already has like a lot of conflict built into it. This was just the logical conclusion.
And you told me some of the fighting moves, this is not bloody death and dismemberment, it's the opposite.
No, it's cartoony violence. People are pulling hot dogs from behind their butts. You know, they're pulling bows out of their hair to hit people. It's just ridiculous.
And a lot of trash talk, I'm sure.
A lot of trash talk.
Show me a little bit of the graphics and the characters here.
Sure. Let me hit up the performance alert. We're gonna go.
So first of all, we have this fantastic branding here with the lipstick, and the lipstick is a motif throughout the game, right?
The lipstick is a motif. We have lipstick health bars that you'll see momentarily after our queens introduce themselves.
And who are our queens that are competing today?
It's Kimchi on the left and Alaska on the right.
Kimchi and Alaska.
Round one. Fight.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness, what just happened there?
I got thrown.
Do I want to know what she just threw? There goes the lipstick.
It's a little Sailor Moon moment.
That's right. The game is called Drag Her. And where can people play this game and when?
The game's coming out for public release in August. We'll be releasing it at EVO this year. Follow us at dragher.game. We're on Discord and we'll be happy to see anyone who loves it.
All right, thank you so much. The game is Drag Her. Have a great night. We are here at The Mix, the Media Indie Exchange, evening after-hours event here at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. The first full-sized Game Developers Conference since 2019, although we did have a smaller GDC here in San Francisco last year. We only have a few more minutes left for our live stream. I'm checking my watch here, and indeed, they're going to take this right up until 11 o'clock, and then they're going to kick everybody out. And I also did want to show you this game called Robo Frenzy. This game caught my eye as I was walking by because one of the characters is an old Macintosh computer that gets very cross and starts wielding a sword and a shield and some other weapons and throwing fierce-looking temper tantrums like that. And it looks like this gentleman right here, you are one of the developers of this game, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the developer of this game, yeah.
You're the developer of this game. Okay, so if we can stand here with the game in the background,
yeah.
How did you come up with the idea for that character in this game?
Well, we have, in our world, we have like all these electronics that come to life in our kaiju size. We wanted to make devices that people are nostalgic for, and we wanted to also reinvent them as mechanized monsters.
Mechanized monsters. You know, but this is, again, much like we saw in some of the other games, this is kind of almost comedic violence that's happening here.
Yeah, we're definitely on the silly side. In our game, you can build and battle at the same time, so you can take these crafting materials and put them into factories and make all sorts of different weapons. And we have weapons that range from like a sword to a rubber duck to a UFO. You know, so we're definitely leaning on the silly side.
How do you attack with a rubber duck?
Where you can pick it up, you can slam it, and with a rubber duck will squeak, and also like summon other like rubber ducks around it. So kind of like a little bit of inspiration from like the Legend of Zelda series, where they're the cuckoos that come flying around.
And so you said that there's also a factory situation where you actually manufacture your own weapons?
Yeah. So like right here, these like this is like the spheroids. When you fight these tides, you get like energy you can use to build different crafts and different factories. And when you combine the factories together, you get more powerful weapons.
So you can combine factories, you get more powerful weapons. Now, is that Angry Macintosh, is he the main character of the game?
He's just one of the many enemies that you'll fight in the game. Like we have some of our other characters like right around here. They might remind you of some other nostalgic electronics.
So he's the bad guy. Who's the good guy?
The guy here
Oh my gosh, they're so much smaller.
Yeah.
So then it's one really big angry Macintosh.
Yeah. It's like a kaiju size.
So is he a big boss or is he a minor boss?
Our game is like just like major bosses, so we went straight to like major big robots. And
So the big there are no minor bosses. They're all major bosses.
yeah, kind of like a Monster Hunter type game. We're always fighting giant monsters, except our monsters are electronics, like kaiju electronics.
Fantastic. Robo Frenzy is the game. When can people play this and where?
We're hoping it will come out next year. We're looking at like PC and consoles.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. The game is Robo Frenzy, and we are here at the Mix event, the Media Indie Exchange, here at the Game Developers Conference 2023 in San Francisco, one of many off-site after-hours events taking place at the first full-size, in-person Game Developers Conference event since 2019. We're going to make our way back down the stairs here because we want to make sure that we get out of the blast zone before they start talking on stage and we can't even hear ourselves think. This event is a 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. event, many late night sorts of events happening at this conference. Of course, everybody's a little bit out of practice at this. Like I said, some of these folks, they're exhibiting for the very first time, or their games are being seen for the very first time. A lot of the people who are attending this conference are attending it for the very first time. And that's a story that I'm working on for later in the week. You have some folks who are actually here on scholarships to attend the Game Developers Conference for folks who have not ever attended one before. So I will step out here in front of the camera and say a fond good night to everybody who's been tuning into this live stream, because it is very late in the evening. As you can see, the party is still going, at least for now. We'll have lots more coverage of Game Developers Conference on NBCBayArea.com during the course of the week, and of course I hope that you'll stay tuned for that, and we'll even have some more live streams as the conference goes on. For now, I'm going to leave you with a view of the folks who are demoing their games here at this event, just a mile or so from the Moscone Center, and we'll see you online soon enough.